So this next question is a bit lengthy, so stay with me on it. In recent sessions, legislative sessions, there have been numerous bills introduced that concern the Chamber's members because they would impose mandates on businesses which would raise their costs. The bills have included prohibiting employers from asking job applicants about prior compensation histories, a state-run retirement system for private sector workers, and allowing localities to raise the minimum wage above the state minimum wage, just to name three. If you are elected governor, what will you do if these and/or similar bills come to your desk for your signature? Jared?
These are all things that I think we should work with the business community and others to figure out the right way. These are not things that, you know, there's a lot of different things in there, Sean. But let's take the minimum wage one. I do support the concept of local control. I support it in a number of different areas. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't important business issues, like if there is a, you know, mall and it's between 2 or 3 different jurisdictions. There's also very small jurisdictions. So, but yes, we would want to work with Casey and others to figure out, is it municipalities above 100,000? Is it counties? There are several in the state that are interested in going higher than the current minimum wage. We might even be in one, Denver. Now that's not up to me, that's up to them. I mean, I'm not advising any city on what to do. I also don't think that a single statewide higher rate would necessarily be in the best interest of in many areas of our rural economy, our ag economy, or towns that suffer from higher unemployment or have higher costs of living. So yeah, I would look forward to getting input about what the real challenges facing the business community are in implementing something that probably many of you already unilaterally implement, meaning that you probably already pay more than the minimum wage because you can't find people to work for you at the minimum wage. So it's really about how we bring everybody along, can provide routes to success. It's nobody's goal to earn minimum wage their life, whether it's $12 an hour, $10 an hour, $15 an hour. You try living even at $15 an hour and paying rent here in Denver. But it is a starting point. And it's a discussion to have so that it's something that you should participate in and help us figure out along with, and I know there were several other things mentioned, but we would have a collaborative approach on all of these to try to make our economic growth work for everyone. And yes, that means work for your workers, but it also means work for your shareholders.
Okay, thank you, Walker.
Veto, veto, veto. And just to go through the reasons why, first of all, I think an individual's privacy needs to be respected, but if you're interviewing for a job as an employer, you shouldn't have the state of Colorado dictating to you what is an employer. You should be asking somebody that's a potential hire. Number two, I would never direct anybody in the private sector to join our public pension system and hog tie them to a $40 billion taxpayer-funded liability. That's not compassionate, that's cruel. Offering the option of our public pension system to somebody who's a line item cook at Taco Bell is not going to improve that individual's retirement prospects. In fact, it will greatly worsen them. And then finally, what was the last question?
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage, allowing municipalities to uniformly decide on their own minimum wages, that's a disaster for the business community and a disaster for the restaurant business. The last minimum wage hike, which was misguided state policy, has resulted in people that don't even want to raise making less in tips. And it has resulted in more automation from the restaurant industry, which doesn't serve the workers. And so I will not support misguided regulations which place mandates on the business community. And I do talk about Congressman Polis a lot because somebody has to be the town crier, and I don't relish the role, but I think it's fundamentally disingenuous and dishonest to say you're going to promote $90 billion worth of promises in Colorado without explaining to people how you're going to pay for it. And I can tell you as treasurer and as somebody who's run a publicly traded company, I know how you're going to pay for it. And the only two ways you're going to pay for it are taxes on individuals or the business community. And that quickly makes Colorado a really brutal place to live and work from a regulatory standpoint, from a lifestyle standpoint, and I do not think that Coloradans want that. And I'll find out in a couple weeks, but I fundamentally don't think that that direction is the direction we want to take our state. And I've come out with detailed plans, but I got to explain to people that there is no way to pay for his promises. I'm leveling, and he is not leveling.
I have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I did want to follow up because he called the state-run retirement system for private sector workers cruel. And you didn't have time to address that, and I don't know if you want to, because that comes up every year.
I want to address the other thing. No, cruel is not the correct adjective. You have to see whether it's actuarially sound. So, I mean, you see, is this something that can shore up and make para stronger, or does it weaken para? That would be the lens that I would approach it with. Does it enhance our ability to meet the existing commitments to people? And again, just to be very clear, I do not support the plans that he's trying to attribute this huge price tag to, oppose them during the primary, oppose them in the general. He's citing a Independence Institute study that prices out 100% renewable energy mandate. I do not support that. His healthcare somehow assumes that I want to spend more. I actually want to spend less than we currently have. There should be a healthcare dividend for companies and individuals. In education, we can get to full-day kindergarten with existing general fund expenditures.
You're 100% renewable energy by 2040, just not a mandate.
It's a goal, not a mandate.